I hope viewers will join me today in wishing a very happy 57th birthday to the Bishop, Larry Gaiters. Bishop, how are you today?
I am great. I feel like I'm 27 instead of 57. And thank you so much for that great introduction, Jason. We're really looking forward to unpacking this new series concerning Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me, uh, from the moment it occurred, actually, people have been saying, what does the bishop say about Kobe Bryant? Was he a boule? Was this an accident? We don't really know. Obviously, it's truly tragic. I mean, Kobe Bryant and his young daughter and seven other people who I personally haven't heard very much about who the other seven people were, but really, his daughter is the ultimate tragedy. Such a young child had her whole life ahead of her. But, Bishop, what can you tell us about Kobe Bryant, the life that he led up until this accident, and what you feel may have contributed to the crash?
Absolutely. Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project completed. His death is the result of a twofold uh, conspiracy. Number one, he's involved in the dark arts. Now, you remember back in July of 2003, he is heavily involved in this rape case out of Eagle, Colorado. Now, up until that time, Kobe Bryant is not delving into any dark arts. He's not a part of any Boule secret society or the Phi Lima secret society or the Theosophical secret society. He is not a part of any Masonic order entities. Now, post 2003, he begins to get tattoos. There's a transformation in Kobe's life. So as we dissect this, his death was nothing more than a satanic sacrifice. All right.
Hmm.
Now, again, to go over this Boule Secret Society, and for those who have not been privy to the topic of the Boule Secret Society, we know that the Boules, again, were born in the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the same hometown that Kobe Bryant was born in. Kobe Bryant was born on the 8th of August, August the 23rd, 1978, in Philadelphia. Whereas the Boule Secret Society was conceived on the 15th of May of 1904. Now, you remember the day before Kobe's death, on January 25th, 2020, LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant to go into that section concerning he is the third all-time NBA scorer. Okay,
Yeah.
so Kobe's number was 33,000, over 33,000.
Really?
Now LeBron
33,000?
33,000, absolutely. Kobe's specific number was over 33,000, and that cannot be by accident. LeBron James's all-time scoring number is also over 33,000. Now, somebody may say, well, Bishop, that is by accident, that is by coincidence. No, nothing is by accident or by coincidence when it comes to the global Luciferian elite. So then, Kobe Bryant is born on the 8th month. His first jersey was the number 8, which also is an occultic number representing the DNA of a serpent that has no beginning and no end. I'm going to get into that later on during the broadcast. And later, post 2003, he wants the number 24. There are 24 letters in the Greek alphabet. 8 plus 24 equals 32, the first 32 degrees of the Masonic order, and then from 32 to 33. And mind you, in the Bible, the Lord Jesus Christ lives for 33 and 1/2 years. And as
Hmm.
I've been teaching for the past few weeks, no non-Black person can ever become a 33rd and 1/2 degree. So then again, the Boule Secret Society was created in 1904. Now they are consisting of nine Black Greek letter secret societies, okay? Nine, called the Divine Nine. Now, in the beginning, Jason, in 1904, there were nine Black occultic scholars of African American descent who created the Boule Secret Society. The term Boule means they are the advisors to the king. They are the protectors of the crab barrel. They don't own the crab barrel,
Right.
they protect the crab barrel. Now, remember the Knights of the Round Table we talked about some time ago. Now, according to lore and tradition, there were anywhere from 9 knights to 150. But the nine specific knights that we're talking about, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Oppenheimers, Warburgs, the Soros, so the House of Windsor, the Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome, the Committee of 300, the Hidden Hand. So each of the nine knights is assigned a Boule Greek Black letter society to protect it. So we talked about Dr. Henry McKee Minton back in June, and his other 8 associates created what we call the Pan-Hellenic Council of the Divine Nine, from Alpha Phi Alpha to Sigma Gamma Rho, which was created in 1922. They are designed to be the Black nobility. Now, we know that term Black nobility is connected to ancient European families, okay?
Sorry,
I,
Bishop. I don't know if
yeah,
you're already aware of this, but it's Henry McKee Minton was born on December 25th.
that I did not know.
Yeah.
Wow. The Winter Soldiers, that I did not know. Excellent, excellent find there. That's why you're a great researcher, my friend. So,
Perhaps
as
he
for
considers himself Christ-like.
look at that. And all nine do. And see, and again, this is the problem with the Boulets, okay? Because they represent the protectors of the system. They don't own the system, they guard the system. The term Boule also represents the lower level of the Greek parliament. Even today, their responsibility is to protect the hierarchy of powers within the Greek Hellenistical society. And this goes back during the times of Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates. So, as we're dissecting Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project created. So, in May 15th, 1904, the Boulets were funded by the Rockefeller Foundation. They are the nine Greek lettered Black secret societies. Each secret society is assigned as a protector to one of the nine knights. Okay. They don't own the table, they are just the protectors of the table. They are the gatekeepers of the system. Remember the a few nights ago, I believe last week, the reporter, the journalist Gail King from CBS was interviewing Lisa Leslie, a close friend of Kobe Bryant. So instead of protecting the legacy and the reputation of Kobe, Gail King, Oprah Winfrey's best friend and lover, tries to trash Kobe. Why? Because Gail King is a boule. So the boules are the protectors of the system. What is the system? It's called Baphomet. Okay. So the Baphomet Luciferian system is the system designed to keep the Black diaspora in check. Not just the Black diaspora, but all people of all ethnicities. So as we continue here, as we lay this foundation concerning Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project completed. Now we talked about Dr. Charles H. Wesley's book, right? The History of Sigma Pi Phi. Again, the history of Sigma pi phi. So that term sigma pi phi simply means boule. They are the gatekeepers. They don't own the gate, but they protect the gate. But notice the term sigma, okay? Now, the term sigma is the 18th letter of the Greek alphabet, and it's also the 18th star in the constellation. Pi is the 16th letter of the Greek alphabet, but it's also the 16th star in the constellation. And phi, capital PHI, is the 21st letter in the Greek alphabet, but it's also the 21st star, Jason, in the constellation. So when we talk about sigma pi phi or boule, sigma signifies summation, or that which is summoned, or to conjure a spirit. That's sigma. Two, pi represents osmotic pressure or hypnotic solution. Pressure and solution. That's pi. Phi, capital PHI, represents a plane, not just a dimensionality or a degree or a level, but plane in the air. Now, I want you to listen to this because this is powerful. So, Sigma Pi Phi, Kobe Bryant was a member of the Boule. Any African American person making a certain amount of money, they must be initiated into the order of the Boule. Not just homosexual initiation in a coffin or lesbianism initiation in the coffin, but later I'm going to reveal to you, Jason, into your powerful audience, that even those who want to get into the 33rd degree, not just in the Boule, but throughout every segment of the global Luciferian Illuminati, they have to have a bestiality sexual right with an animal. So if a person wants to be a mamba or a snake, there has to be sexual contact with that animal so that the person can receive the dark energy that would replicate that black mamba. This is heavy here. So Sigma Pi Phi simply represents one who is summoned or conjured in order to bring hypnotic pressure to where? A plane. So that helicopter, there is no way that the helicopter just came down because of the mist. Now, in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 1, verse chapter 2, verse 6. Genesis chapter 2, verse 6. Now, I don't go into gematria or numerology. I don't delve into that. But I cannot help but to think, Jason, that when Kobe's plane went down January 26, 2020, now in Genesis chapter 2, Genesis is the first book of the Word of God, the Bible. Chapter 2, verse 6, 26, it says, there went up a mist from the ground. So Calabasas was filled with mist from the ground. So the word of God is decrypting the future of the deaths of those who are to die. So let me go on quick. This is powerful here. So Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project created and completed. He is a part of the Boule Secret Society, a part of the Theosophical Secret Society, and a part of the Thelema Secret Society, where later, after his retirement, all right, in 2016, he begins to write 3 books that are incorporating words like Wizenard, W-I-Z-E. Now, Wizenard, W-I-Z-E, means obsolete. Nard means that which is thick. Now, allow me to explain that. Now, in the Bible, there is a term called spikenard, which means an olive oil that has become thickened. But
Hmm.
in Kobe's book, Wizenard, Wize, it is a high level occultic term meaning to disappear,
Look at
to
that.
cast
I
a
didn't
spell.
I
Yeah,
didn't realize Kobe Bryant had written any books, but here it is, the Wizenard series.
exactly. So the term wise means to make obsolete, to obsolete someone, to cast a spell. None of this is in the psychosis of Kobe Bryant pre 2003. After that rape case, he begins to change. Okay. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. Wise Nard, it means, wise also means in Chaldean war. Okay. And the term Nard in Chaldean or Persian means lock. So, Jason, this is where we get the term warlock or witch. Now, I'm not here debasing Kobe Bryant's character or his life. My assignment here is to unlayer, not to expose, but to unlayer and unveil the dark inner beings of Kobe and to why he got into that dark seeker societies.
Now, Bishop, I
So the
should tell
boule,
you that we've got a viewer with us on Periscope going by chorizo, which, as I understand, is a type of Mexican sausage. Chorizo says, Kobe went to my church. He wasn't Luciferian. BS.
no, Kobe was. Because of these types of books that he's writing, Jason, he has been in contact. And of course, he's not going to. And remember that term. And what I'm about to say is not against that sister or brother. Okay, so I want to preface that. This term I said a couple of weeks ago, it was a quote by Jim Garrison,
Oh, yeah.
right? The one that was portrayed in the JFK movie. He says, what else do you expect from a pig other than a grunt? So people who are not privy to this level, they don't know, Jason. So then once you get, especially as a Black American celebrity, into this high Luciferian level, these books, Wise Nard, Wise, Warlock, okay? Kobe uses the terms muse cage, okay? Muse is a spirit, cage is a compartment within the soul. So after Kobe's rape allegation in 2003, and I'm going to say this, there is a term called soul tie, okay? We teach this in deliverance ministry. A soul tie represents, and we're talking about Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project completed. A soul tie represents if a man has sex with a woman, every man she slept with, that man has slept with. Every woman he has slept with, she has slept with. Every woman that that woman slept with, or even an animal, he has slept with. So Kobe spiritually now picked up something. In other words, Jason, Kobe was tagged. I don't know who this woman was in Eagle, Colorado, but Kobe Bryant brought something back in his spirit that he was never the same. He begins to get tattoos all over his body. Okay, he begins to have a gangster psychology. That psyop was not who Kobe Bryant was. So then, getting back to the Boulets, they are the gatekeepers. They are the protectors of the system. Sigma, okay, the 18th letter, represents to summon or to conjure, right? Pi represents hypnotic solution or osmotic pressure as on a helicopter. And phi represents a plane, not just a dimensionality or a square, but a plane. Summation to conjure in order to bring hypnotic solution to a plane. Now, later on, I'm going to connect Kobe's death not only more to the Luciferian order, but also Kobe had multiple lawsuits, Jason, against some of the most powerful pharmaceutical countries in this country who were connected to the Central Intelligence Agency. So let's
Wow.
move on. So the timeline here of Kobe, born the 8th month of the year, August the 23rd, 1978. Okay. So then in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where the Boule Secret Society is born, in May the 15th, 1904. LeBron James passes Kobe's, he goes into third place, passing Kobe on the all-time NBA scoring list. Okay. Kobe's parents, all right, Joe Bryant was an NBA player for 7 years and played overseas in Italy, and his mother, Pamela Bryant. So then Kobe moves, as we give a background analysis of his childhood, he moves to Italy, right, in 1984, okay? And his family returns 7 years later in 1991 when Kobe is 13. Now, remember, his daughter was 13. This, again, I'm not into numbers, Jason, but nothing is by accident as we are dissecting Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project completed.
Hmm.
Now, here in August, on August the 10th, 2005, now remember the helicopter called the Sikorsky 76B, okay?
Yep.
The Sikorsky 76B. Now, a similar crash happened on during the month of August, August 10th, 2005, on concerning the copter line flight 103. The Sikorsky S-76C crashed at 12:45 in the afternoon in Tallinn Bay, Estonia. There's a major lawsuit right now against that company who is presently constructing the Sikorsky. Now, the plane, the helicopter here, what really hit a nerve with me in preparing for you today, Jason. There's term Sikorsky. Now, there was a Russian Jew. Now, I am not anti-Semitic. I am just
Well,
unlayering.
it's named after the guy who invented the helicopter, Igor
Yes,
Sikorsky.
there you go. Absolutely. Born on May 25th, 1889, died October 26th, 1972, right? He was born in Kiev, a part
Oh,
of the Russian
Ukraine.
Empire, which is now Ukraine. That's right.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Jason, his
Maybe Joe
blood.
Biden knows him, Bishop. Bishop? Did I lose you?
All right,
Bishop?
Jason, do you hear me?
Yes, you're back. I said maybe Joe Biden knows Igor Sikorsky from Ukraine.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Absolutely. Hold on, Jason.
Sure. Something wrong with the bishop's phone, I think.
Oh, do you hear me now?
Yes, we've got you.
Excellent, excellent. So this Igor Sikorsky, and I do apologize for that.
That's okay.
His bloodline goes back to Peter the Great in the 16 and 1700s. Okay.
Hmm.
Now,
Bishop, lost you again.
Masonry and the occult at the court of Peter the Great by author Robert Collis, capital Cowlis. All
Sorry,
right.
Bishop, we lost that. Could you give us that book and author again?
Absolutely. The book is entitled Freemasonry and the Occult at the Court of Peter the Great. And it's by the author Robert Collis, capital Cowlis. Published January 2006, volume 6, issue 1. Very interesting. He talks about the Masonic in the Petrine court, all right, capital Petrine, court of Peter the Great, which was the foundation of Russian occultism, Jason. Now, in Kobe Bryant's book here that he writes in 2019 entitled Epocha, the Tree of Ekroth. Epocha, spelled backwards, is the name of a female secret society out of Spain called Acope, capital Acope, okay? Founded by a woman by the name of Concepcion Arnu. Again, Concepcion Arnu. And allow me to spell that here. Capital Concepcion, Concepcion Areno. Okay, capital Arenal. And if you notice on Wikipedia, she has a photo and she has her left hand inside of her jacket pocket. Now, you remember about a month ago, you showed so many of those pictures of patterns, right? So this woman having her left hand in her jacket, that represents a Mason that is out of fellowship with the order. If she would have had her right hand in her jacket, that would have meant she was in the right hand of fellowship of any Masonic order. But she's out of fellowship, that's why she has her left hand.
What does that mean, out of fellowship?
Out of fellowship. In other words, any person who wants to start their own Masonic secret society or their own order, they were excommunicated automatically, whether they're in the Scottish Rite Order or in the Boulets, it doesn't matter, or the Daughters of Job. Any person who does not abide by the bylaws of that specific lodge, they are excommunicated. So she was one of the first feminists in the Western Hemisphere. But what? And the question begs, what does she have to do with Kobe? Yeah. And so she is the creator of the Acope Secret Society, okay, which backwards, because Hebrew is written from right to left, is the term Epocha, capital Epoca, which also means epic. The tree of Ekroth, which is force spelled backwards. Now, Jason, if you can, look at the front cover of Kobe's book, Epocha, the Tree of Ekroth. It represents a dichotomy of light and darkness, or good and evil. The top side represents good, the bottom side represents evil. Well, the Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 2 not to touch of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Well, what is the last letter of good? D, connected to the word evil, you get the word devil. So Kobe is beginning to reveal secrets that he's not authorized to reveal. Okay, so the die is set for him to die. And I'm trying to be compassionate here. So people say, "Oh, I don't believe that, Bishop." Of course, Kobe would never tell you, because he was forbidden to reveal who he was connected to. So then the Epocha, the tree of life, Kobe is teaching the terms like muse cage. There's a light muse cage and the dark muse cage. Well, that's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil that the Boule Secret Society and the Luciferian order is teaching as we speak. So then, getting back to Igor Sikorsky, his bloodline goes back to the court of Peter the Great, which was the foundation of Russian occultism and Freemasonry. So the Igor Sikorsky was involved in occultism.
Really?
But yet Kobe dies in his helicopter. Go ahead, Jason.
I didn't know that. I guess I know almost nothing about Igor Sikorsky. I'm pretty sure Sikorsky helicopter was purchased by United Technologies in the 90s or the early 2000s.
Yes, and it was also purchased by another company that I'm going to reveal here in the next few minutes. As we're tracing this ley line, these dots going back to Kobe's death as a Luciferian project. So Igor Sikorsky is related through the czars, going back to Peter the Great. Now, Igor Sikorsky leaves Russia after the Bolshevik Revolution in October of 1917, okay, and moves to New York City. Now, again, as we talk about Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project, we have to understand, and to all of your listeners, to our students, that the term Hollywood is rooted in the term Holly-Wand, capital A-N-D, capital W-A-N-D, which means scepter, Holly-Wand, or the wand of a witch, the wand of a warlock. Okay, so then Hollywood or Holly-Wand is the cage into which Kobe Bryant is birthed in as a NBA superstar. So, and again, there was a company called Island Express out of
Yeah.
California. There you go. That purchased from United Technologies Sikorsky, this Sikorsky line of helicopters. Now, Sikorsky 76B quickly chopper. There was a code on the plane entitled capital N72EX. Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Capital
tail number, the registration with the FAA.
There you go. So then Igor Sikorsky, if you go on his Wikipedia,
Oh, yeah, he died
profile,
in 1972.
died in 1972. But the second photo down, Jason, it shows him as a young man. Now, actually check this out. On Wikipedia, it shows Igor Sikorsky,
Yeah.
with his what, right hand inside of his.
Whoa, look at
Uh,
that.
uh,
And what's this medal he has pinned on his jacket?
There you go. There you go. And if you expand that pin, he is Masonically connected, not only going back to the court of Peter the Great, but he is a high level occultic Mason. You
Oh, boy.
notice the hand inside of his pocket, and you notice his thumb and his pinky are out, which is a sign of the horn of Lucifer.
Wow.
So
Wow.
then the founder, this is heavy, of Sikorsky,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, the helicopter is rooted in occultic masonry.
Wow.
So then in 1914, his right hand is in his jacket pocket with his thumb and his pinky out as a horn. So Igor leaves Russia after the Russian Revolution and goes to the United States on the 30th of March in 1919. Now, we talked about Island Express Holdings Incorporated out of Van Nuys, California, bought the Sikorsky line of helicopters and planes. Okay. So Kobe goes to high school in 1992. He goes to a school called Lower Merion, capital Merion. Very interesting. Now, in the book entitled The Word, a monthly magazine devoted to philosophy science. The Word, a monthly magazine devoted to philosophy and science, volume 20, edited by Harold W. Percival, capital Percival. Now, on pages 301 and 302, he reveals the term Marion, capital Merion, like Lower Merion High School. Marion is a high-level occultic term for magic and the magic of time. We talked about chaos theory, okay? Also, Marion means predictive programming. Now, somebody
Oh.
said, wait a minute, what does that have to do with Kobe? Nothing is by accident as to what high school he went to. Now, remember, there was a commercial, Jason, some years ago. I believe that when Kobe Bryant and I believe Kanye West was in this commercial, and you can look it up on YouTube. And so Kobe has a basketball in his right hand, and there's a time clock inside or outside of the basketball. All right, and you go down to it goes down to 4.1 second. Kobe Bryant throws the ball at 4.1 second to the helicopter that Kanye West is in the commercial and destroys it. Why 4.1 second? How old was Kobe when he died? 41.
Oh.
Kobe comes out of his last game in 2016 against the Utah Jazz. At what time? 0.1 second. So he comes out 4.1 second out of the last game against the Utah Jazz. He is also in the commercial where the basketball goes down to 4.1 second. Then he looks up and throws the basketball to destroy the helicopter that Kanye West is in. And yet he's 41 years old and he comes out of his last game against the Utah Jazz at 4.1 second. See, in other words, Jason, none of this is by accident. Okay? Okay, do you hear me good, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just
Okay.
listening.
So this is powerful. So
I think I had
nothing,
the wrong commercial. It was Kanye West sitting there, but no helicopter
no,
exploded.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
there's a series of commercials.
absolutely. So to your listeners, just look it up. Kobe is throwing a basketball, which goes down when he looks up, when he looks down at the basketball at 4.1 second, even though it goes down to 4.0. But at 4.1, he looks up and throws the basketball. Okay. This was
Bishop, sorry to interrupt you, but I would also point out that this series of, whatever it is, the Kobe system, which is like a weird thing in and of itself, it has this logo that's got a pyramid in it and these sort of spikes sticking up. It's a little bit maybe sort of demonic itself.
and if you can, Jason, don't not to get ahead of myself. Um, Later, go to the website the reader app.com. I'm sorry, threadreaderapp.com, threadreaderapp.com, or just type in thread on Kobe Bryant, his death, and his connections to the occult. Thread on Kobe Bryant, his death, and his connections to the occult. It talks about the Black Mamba series of his photos, Strike at Light Speed. So then Kobe posts his sexual rape allegations, okay, and we don't know what happened in the month of July 2003, but post 2003, he begins to incorporate his body and his soul into the dark arts, worshiping the hexagon of Saturn, okay?
Huh.
Worshiping the black cube. When you go down on that site that shows all of his symbols, okay, it talks about the Kobe Y logo, the letter Y, okay, which has 6 hexagon points. He's also a lover and a worshiper of the 6 angles of a cube called the hexagram. Also, the Nike symbol, okay? You go down, it says level 06 Beastion. In other words, Kobe goes into the dark arts. Another photo talks about resurrected Roman Empire, 9/11 built within the cube, Saturn worship, cube worship, 8 points of time and space. Look at the snake shaped like the number 8. That was Kobe's first jersey number. As you go down, look at the logo of the capital M with the serpent, okay, going around the capital M, and chewing its own tail. That is a high level occult term. So if people say, well, no, Kobe was not in that, he was in that. Now, I am not debasing his character. My assignment is to decode the Luciferian connections to Kobe's life, which was part of the reason why he was taken out. Now you stay there on that website, Jason. I'm going to come back to that in about 10 minutes time.
Yeah.
Now Kobe Bryant is drafted out of high school in 1996. He is the 13th pick. Interesting. He is the 13th pick. He comes back from Italy at the age of 13. He's the 13th pick in the 1996 NBA draft, and his daughter Gigi was 13 when they died. This is the mindset of the global Luciferian order. Everything is set by order. So when your project, you as a project is done, they will simply take you out. So later on, 4 years later, he meets his future wife, Vanessa Lane. Okay. Her real name is Vanessa Cornejo, capital Cornejo, Ubita, capital Urbieta. Vanessa Bryant, and what I'm about to say, I am not castigating her or her family. But Vanessa Bryant's family, her mother, her father, which they divorced, they were heavily involved in the religion called Santeria,
Oh,
Jason.
yeah.
They're involved in that.
That's like
So,
voodoo or something, isn't it?
absolutely. Santeria, capital Santeria, is a dark religion, okay, that is rooted in occultism and witchcraft, coming out of Western Africa during the transatlantic slave trade, right? Many of the indigenous Africans brought their religions of witchcraft and warlockism and occultism. And Santeria started in Central and South America. Vanessa Lane is Spanish, okay? It is not by accident. Kobe at the time had an African American girlfriend. Look, I'm not teaching black and white, but he was directed to marry this girl who was only 18 years old. Okay. Now, when he married this woman, all right, her family is involved in Santeria. His family, his mother and father, are upset with Kobe because number one, he's marrying a girl who's only 18 years old, and number two, his family doesn't trust the family of Vanessa, all right, Bryant, or Vanessa Lane, because they're heavily involved in Santeria. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Bishop, I don't believe that. The reason why it is hard for people to believe that Kobe was involved in this because they almost worship him at that level. That's a dangerous outlook there. Okay, you cannot worship these stars. And let me say this too: every NBA player, when they are assigned a number, they are assigned a jersey number for a reason, Jason, that is connected to the occultic psyop of the Western sports industrial complex. I'm going to come back to that. So Kobe Bryant marries this girl. Now, remember, coming up to 2003 here, okay? Jason, you still there with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So coming up to 2003, Kobe Bryant is arrested. Oh, it gets really weird now, Jason. He's arrested. He goes to Eagle, Colorado, okay, to Edwards, Colorado for knee surgery that's scheduled for June the 30th, okay, 2003. His surgeon is Dr. Richard Stedman. Dr. Stedman is a part of Phi Beta Kappa.
Oh,
So Kobe is instructed not to get a hotel in Edwards near the doctor. He's instructed to go to the lodge and spa uh, located, okay, in Eagle, Colorado. That's not near where he got his knee surgery. Okay,
I
so
think Edwards, Colorado.
yeah, Edwards, Colorado, exactly. So this girl who is really unnamed is just a desk clerk. And then he asked this girl for, a tour. That's unusual. She was not supposed to leave her post. So she goes up to his room and they begin to kiss. And according to Kobe, it was consensual. But the girl doesn't cry rape until the next day.
Right.
Because her parents know, well, okay, this is Kobe Bryant. And again, I'm not defending Kobe. He committed adultery. Okay. I'm not like Gayle King. I'm not going to trash his character nor his reputation. So Kobe is arrested the next day. Okay. Now, remember, post 2003, he picks up a spirit. Now, that term soul tie, remember? I said about 15 minutes ago. When Kobe slept with this woman, everything she slept with, Kobe has slept with. Everything he slept with, she slept with. So when he leaves Colorado, he's not the same Jason, which means in deliverance ministry, we call it, well, Kobe's been tagged, okay, with the character. So he begins to get tattooed. So he hires an attorney from Denver, Colorado, a high-powered attorney by the name of Pamela Mackey. She's Phi Beta Kappa, which is the educational and legal arm of the deep state. So then a year later, I believe in September 2004, the case is dropped. Now, they say there was no money transferred from Kobe to the girl, but I believe there was because she refused to testify and she only wanted Kobe to apologize. But his attorney, Pamela Mackey, Phi Beta Kappa, apologized.
She seems to have a long history of defending people in sexual assault cases, which I guess would be what a lawyer would do, specialize in a particular area of practice. But what if you've got a lawyer who is involved in setting people up for sexual assault cases?
There you go. Exactly. Now, I'm going to say something here, and I'm so glad that you brought this up, Jason. I cannot substantiate this. It's nowhere on the internet, so I don't want anyone to run with this. I believe Kobe was set up, okay?
I think Mike Tyson was also.
Yes. See, they didn't give Mike Tyson a criminal defense attorney. They gave him a tax attorney. Another topic for another day. So Pamela Mackey might have been the attorney that had set him up too. So as to why? To put Kobe back on the plantation in the crab barrel. Remember Michael Jordan's father. Michael Jordan was supposed to throw game 6 of the 1993 NBA championship against Charles Barkley in the Phoenix Suns. A week later, they take out Michael Jordan's father.
You get a car crash or something, right?
So yes. So and then they blame two teenagers. No, again, this is the deep state. Look at Bill Cosby. He wanted to buy NBC. Okay, they told him no. So he started to expose NBC, and they took out his son. These devils, Jason, don't care. So we go back to 2004. The case is dropped against Kobe as we continue here concerning this Kobe Bryant Luciferian project that is completed now. Okay, so Kobe Bryant then creates an alter ego called the Black Mamba. Okay, he creates an alter ego, just like Beyonce created an alter ego called Sasha Fierce. Fierce. Sasha Fierce is a dancing demon. Okay. Beyonce said that she is possessed with a demon. That's what she said. July 18th, 2015, on the website Counterculture, counterculturemom.com, which says Beyonce says she is demon possessed. So Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, was demon possessed. Beyonce, demon possessed. Sasha Fierce. Okay, remember during the halftime of the Super Bowl, J Lo and Shakira, they're all a part of the dark arts, Jason. So again, I'm not castigating Kobe. My assignment here in part one, Kobe Bryant, the Luciferian Project, is to decode as to why Kobe had to die. 2000 from 2003 to 2020, that's a period of 17 years, okay? The number 17 is a number of spirit and order in the Jewish gematria. So
Say
the
that
black
again. The number 17 is what?
is a number of spirit and order. Now, there's other interpretations according to the language, right? We
But
talked about,
17 is coming up all over the place. I didn't know that.
wow, that's it. A number of spirit and order. So the Boule Seeker Society, okay, and you hear this moniker, LeBron James is the GOAT, GOAT. Well, remember the GOAT writers we talked about a couple weeks ago, the initiation rites of the high level secret societies, right? GOAT writing, committing bestiality in order to replicate the personality of the animal that that player is going to replicate. There is a high level secret society. Now, on that, the threadapp.com, again, the threadapp.com, thread on Kobe Bryant, his death, and his connections to the occult. And as you go down here, it talks about that Cronus, or this is where we get the term chronology, is another god that is sometimes represented as winged. As what? Winged. Now, as you go down, Kobe Bryant has a picture called Zoom Kobe 2 Supernatural. He has wings. Okay. Now, according to high level occultists, this represents Kobe is what we call a Nephilim. Genesis chapter 6. He's involved, Jason, in the dark arts. So then he was also a part what we call the Freemasonic Order, GOAT writers, the Freemasonic Order of the Golden Centurion, okay? Or the Golden Centurion, all right? Capital CENTURIUM. And as we go down further here, in that the thread of Kobe Bryant, it talks about, and this is powerful, it says this death candidate served as a large sacrifice for the services of the transcendental powers in which the lodge believed. Okay. At the bottom it says he had to consume deadly poison. When I even talk about the coronavirus, for the term corona means skulls in tooth or teeth. Corona means the upper torso of the body. So in the lodge, they had to consume deadly poison during the lodge meeting. Also, it talks about all rituals had as their goal to attain, get this, high in the highest levels of initiation. Okay. But it was always their intention, Jason, to obtain on that level the most possible influence, power, and wealth. So Kobe Bryant was involved in this. In that same thread link, it says on that night, the lodge, we're talking about Boule, the lodge, we're talking about the Scottish Rite Masons, the lodge, or the Freemasonic Order of the Golden Centurion that was birthed out of Germany, okay, in the 1800s, which was later connected to the Third Reich, okay? So it says on that night, the lodge members would convene, and if no brother, think about Kobe, if no brother had died in the course of a year, a large sacrifice had to be chosen. This was done by drawing lots. The initiate chosen for this honor would then drink a poison, draught in order to complete the sacrificial act or project. Okay. Now, later it goes on to say here, in the case of the refuser, this could be accomplished at a distance by means of the dreaded, what they call tepophone, capital TEPAPHONE, which was a machine which, when coupled with the will of a magician, could kill anyone no matter where they were. Now, remember, there is harp. Type that up, capital HAARP. I'm going to get to that in the next few minutes. This is the why that copter came down. Had nothing to do with clouds or rains or the hill or the mist. Remember Genesis chapter 2, verse 6. There came up a mist. Genesis, first book of the Bible, chapter 2, verse 6, 26, January 26, a mist came up from the ground. So Kobe Bryant is connected to the dark arts. And again, I'm not trying to castigate his character or his life. Now stay on that thread, Jason. And we get to the term here. Remember the term where the snake goes around the letter M, the Mamba Academy. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
The Mamba Academy. So that snake represents a high level occultic symbol where the snake chews its own tail, getting nourishment from its own venom. So Kobe, his character, becomes the Mamba. Remember the actor Heath Ledger in The
Yeah.
Joker? Heath Ledger could not get out of character because the demon didn't want him to. And I'm going to say that Kobe Bryant, and that term, where the snake goes around in a circle and it eats his tail, it's called the Ouroboros, capital Ouroboros. Remember the first three letters R, okay? So then, Ouroboros, where Kobe becomes one with the character of the Mamba, though he retires in 2016, but the demon would not allow Kobe to be extracted from that spirit. Heath Ledger. This is heavy here. So then, now it's interesting when we talk about Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project completed. Now, according to the Persian mythology of warriors, okay, or legendary warriors, they call themselves the Sohrabs, capital Sohrab, okay? Now, those warriors, okay, according to Persian mythology, the book takes a king, right, the legendary warriors of the Sohrabs, capital Sohrab. They were instructed that to drink the blood of black mambas or serpents in order to gain power.
Mm.
So that the warrior could replicate the movements in the psyop of the serpent which they drank. And that was by the Persian author Abu Qasim, capital Qasem, Ferdowsi, capital Ferdowsi, 2C, capital Tusi. So
Bishop,
the
what about
term here,
Qasem Soleimani, who was just recently killed in Iraq?
yes, those men, listen, oh, I'm so, again, you hit another nerve with me. They were practitioners of drinking of serpent blood. Now, I'm not saying Kobe did this. I don't know what Kobe did, but I'm unveiling the occultic connections as to why he died. And you're exactly right on it. Absolutely. So in Iranian mythology, those warriors drank the blood of the animal that they want to replicate in battle. Okay, so again, stay on that thread there. The thread on Kobe Bryant, his death, and his connections to the occult. Now, as we go down here, it shows a hexagram, right? The six angles of a cube. That's Kobe's, the letter Y. We talked about this. Now, in Genesis chapter 6, it talks about the fallen angels. Now, in Matthew chapter 4, verses 15 and 16, two words come out to me, Jason, as we talk about Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project completed. In Matthew chapter 4, verses 15 and 16, two words, Zabulon, capital Z-A, then B-U-L-O-N, then the word Nephilim, okay? Zabulon, B-U-L-O-N, Zabulon means boule. And the term Nephilim there in Matthew 4, 15, 16, capital N-E-P-H, T-H-A-L-I-M, is the manifestation of the connection of the term Nephilim. Fallen angels, the watchers, Genesis 6, where the 13 Illuminati families, specifically 9 of the Knights of the Round Table, believe that they are of the blood lineage of Lucifer. Now take the word Lucifer and spell it backwards from right to left, because Hebrew is written from right to left. Then you get a term, a Latin Vulgate expression, recycle. Recycle simply means the recycling of fecal matter. Let me say it again. You take the word Lucifer, spell it right to left, because both Hebrew and Arabic is written from right to left. It reveals the Latin Vulgate expression, recycle, the recycling of fecal matter. That's why homosexuality is an abomination. That's why lesbianism is an abomination. The term Vatican in Latin means Vaticanus or anus. Another topic for another time. Again, I'm dissecting. I don't know what happened in that hotel room, but whatever happened and whatever position he was in, this man, Kobe Bryant, I believe, was demon oppressed, obsessed, and possessed. Now, the Freemason order of the Centurion that was created in Germany during the 1800s and went up until the Third Reich, okay, they taught, Jason, that every 8th and 24th month, okay, a sacrifice had to be done. Every 8th and 24th month. Why those numbers? Those two numbers were the numbers of Kobe Bryant's jersey. 8 until 2003 and 24 from 2003 until his retirement in 2016. So the Free Masonic Order of the Centurion, also the term Centurion means centurions, capital Centurions. Now in Matthew 27:34, okay, when Jesus Christ was on the cross, and you notice, Jason, in Matthew 27:33, there is a term called Golgotha. I'm still talking about Kobe Bryant, the Luciferian project created. Golgotha means the place of a skull. Remember, skulls and bones. Remember the term corona, skulls in tooth, okay? Corona, skull, upper body, tooth. So then in Matthew 27:34, the Roman government, the tradition of death on the cross, Jason, their goal was to poison Jesus. Because the Bible says that they took vinegar and mingled it. The term mingled means potion in Latin. So they mingled or potion. What did they mix with vinegar? They extracted the venom, Jason, in the blood of a mamba or a serpent. So the Roman deep state were worshipers of serpents. Even in South Africa, They worship the entity of serpents or the black mamba to the point where would eat the serpent. This is heavy here. This is what Kobe Bryant was in, a part of the Theosophical Secret Society. Okay. So then back to that thread reader app.com. Okay. Now, notice here the Free Masonic Order, and almost done, of the Golden Centurion. The dead candidate, all rituals to that person had to die. Okay, if you want to be a billionaire, someone has to die in your family. Vanessa, one of the daughters, or your parents.
Whoa.
Jason, these people are not playing, okay? Now, notice for a new member to be initiated, the existing member, okay?
Sorry, Bishop, where did that decree come from that if somebody wants to be a billionaire, somebody has to die in their family? It's causing me to think of some stuff related to 9/11 that David Hawkins and I have spoken about quite a bit. And when I did a show about it 3 weeks ago with Charlie Robinson, we got totally kicked off of YouTube. The channel got
really?
struck for that video. They said it was hate speech. I still
my.
can't live stream as a result of that.
Well, you know, remember Dr. Charles H. Wesley's book, right? The History of Sigma Pi Phi, Chapter 5.
Yes.
And that book is, right? That book is so expensive, right? It
800 bucks.
Exactly. Anything that's truth, they jack up the price. Now, if it's a book about keeping up with the Kardashians, it's $2. You see, that's the part of the deep state, okay? And so then remember this word. And then chapter 5 of the History of Sigma Pi Phi, there's a chart of a financial level for Black Americans. Remember the term, the talented tenth, that was given from John D. Rockefeller to Dr. Henry McKee Menton and W.E.B. Du Bois. 1 out of 10 African Americans would have to be chosen to be a part of a system that will protect the system.
Now, Bishop, I need to share something with you because we're at a part that I wanted to go into just a bit. I went to I just Googled Sigma Pi Phi and it brought me to bouletdirectors.org. I guess you've probably seen this website, but it's saying that Sigma Pi Phi is the source of African American corporate board talent in the 21st century. And then, yeah, it was, I forget where I was seeing this, maybe in About Us. Oh, no, sorry, right there on the homepage, they've got a list of notable members of Sigma Pi Phi. I think most of them you're going to recognize. Certainly Eric Holder is on here. I was surprised and interested to see Ron Brown, former Secretary of Commerce under Bill Clinton, who died in a plane crash. That there's a lot of mystery surrounding the. Are you familiar with the death of Ron Brown?
His plane was shot down in 1996 in Croatia, and now part of his autopsy of what his body was left, they found a bullet hole in his skull.
Right. Okay. But slight correction, the plane wasn't shot down. It received incorrect information from the Air Force in terms of the elevation of the airport it was landing at. And you're right, it was outside of Kosovo, I believe. The airport had been destroyed in a recent war, so it didn't have the modern ILS, instrument landing systems, and it was relying on a radio beacon. It also didn't have the appropriate radio beacon to work with this airport. So you might expect that from like some putz just flying his own airplane to some unknown airport, but the Air Force gave them this information, and this guy was the Secretary of Commerce. And as you said, his X-ray revealed a bullet hole in the top of his head.
Bill Clinton's behind that, because when Boule no longer wants to protect the Baphomet takes him out. In other words, the Boule is supposed to be the first son of Baphomet, even though the skulls and bones were birthed before the Baphomet. I mean, before the skulls, before the Boule. The Boule is the first son of Baphomet, okay? And we're talking about Latin, Persian, and Greek occultism, okay? And that's a whole different topic. Now, remember that term the other, probably about 5-10 minutes ago, this term Teepaphone, capital Teepaphone.
Yes.
which is what they call a magical death ray. Okay. Now remember Andrew Breitbart on March the 1st, 2012. He just collapsed. Okay. Or actually, February the 29th, 2012. February the 29th, 2012, he collapses. Okay. And then dies on midnight, March the 1st, 2000. So this Tephon, this magical death ray. Now remember HARP, the high frequency active aurora research program put
Huh.
out by DARPA, the
Right.
Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, okay? Established by the US Air Force and the US Navy in conjunction with the CIA. That they can take out any plane, they can create any weather patterns. That's another topic for another day. Something to think about concerning Kobe Bryant. Remember Paul Walker, November 30th, 2013, okay? Remember when Julian Assange leaked out the Vault 7, March 7, 2017, okay? Concerning that the CIA has the ability to hack airplanes, helicopters, Kobe Bryant, planes, and cars. Okay. This is a reason why they want to kill Julian Assange. Okay. So then WikiLeaks, just type in on Wikipedia, Vault 7 CIA hacking tools. They can hack everything and speed up your car or your helicopter to make it look like it was a suicide or an accident. Okay. Again, this is the Luciferian deep state. Okay. And give me about 2 minutes, Jason. This is it's so powerful here.
Yeah.
So as we move forward here, that now get into the pharmaceutical companies. Okay. Now, before I get to that quickly, to our listeners. Now, remember, if you know the scriptures, Isaiah 14 and 12, Lucifer, First Chronicles 21 and 1, Satan in Matthew 4 and 1. Devil, what is the first letter of Lucifer? L. First letter of Satan, S. First letter of devil, D, LSD. Okay. MK Ultra, 1953. Another topic for another day. Lucifer spelled right to left. Rabbinic reveals the Latin word recycle, the recycling of fecal matter. That is the character in the DNA of Lucifer. In my conclusion, the other part, the reason why that Kobe was assassinated, he had multiple lawsuits against some of the most powerful pharmaceutical companies, against high-tech pharmaceuticals here in Amityville, New York. They are owned by a company by the name of Acorn Incorporated, capital AKORN, which both of these pharmaceutical companies are owned by a man by the name of John Kapoor, capital KAPOOR, a billionaire, who is serving 66 months if he's not out already. Okay. Uh,
66.
yeah, for 66 months. Oh, there you go. Yes, because of the opioid crisis.
Huh.
Now, Kobe was not just killed because he was trying to fight for his moniker, Black Mamba. No, that the reason why, because Kobe found out, just like Paul Walker with his charity of the Philippines, right? When the typhoon almost destroyed the Philippines, and Paul Walker found out that the CIA was funneling money, taking money from that charity. Okay. That's another topic for another day. Kobe found out that high tech pharmaceuticals, the Acorn Incorporated, okay, which has connections to Israeli Mossad, MI6, and the Central Intelligence Agency through John Kapoor. Kobe found out that those weight loss pills, Jason, contain ingredients of opiates or opioid.
Hmm.
In other words, Kobe's lawyers were beginning to file major multiple lawsuits against high-tech pharmaceuticals, Acorn Incorporated, John Kapoor, because in the weight loss pills, Jason, there were contaminants of opioid ingredients.
But why
So
does
that
Kobe care about that? Is he taking weight loss pills? That seems like a
no,
strange thing.
no, he's not. But he's fighting. He was fighting to keep his moniker, the Black Mamba, but specifically in I believe in 2002, The high-tech pharmaceuticals already registered or trademarked that moniker. Okay, but
Ah.
we wanted to hold on to it. But that was the
So a
pretext. That wasn't the
pharmaceutical
reason.
company was going to use the name Black Mamba? I mean, that sounds like
Yeah,
something you wouldn't want to eat.
and they're using that now. If you look online through high-tech pharmaceuticals or the Acorn Inc. Incorporated, one of their pills, and you can even go through Google Images, has Black Mamba weight
That's
loss
really
pills
weird.
with.
Doesn't high-tech pharmaceuticals sound like some like Bugs Bunny company? Like that's like a stupid name.
Yeah, I know, but see, John Kapoor was indicted because of this opioid conspiracy where he was putting opioids, right, traces of that within all of his pills and medications and weight loss items and pills. Kobe wanted to expose this. He was angry because he wanted full rights to his moniker, his brand, the Black Mamba. Okay. Now, again, the lawsuit is done now. Okay. There's no lawsuit. And so high tech pharmaceuticals, Acorn, can not only keep that moniker, the Black Mamba, but they can continue to sell weight loss pills
Wow.
containing opioid. And so then why would Kobe do this? He was angry at the big pharmaceutical companies. Okay, so
I'm
Kobe
surprised
wanted.
this company can call itself a pharmaceutical company. I mean, this looks like a supplement at best that should be riddled
Exactly.
with warnings that these are not claims of actual whatever.
Exactly. And so they were about to go to court 2 weeks after his death. He was scheduled to go to court against
Bishop, sorry, Rampant Shopper is telling us that high tech pharmaceuticals has been in the business of circumventing the 2004 ephedra ban.
Wow. Really excellent pickup. I'm telling you, again, Jason, your listeners are the best astute listeners I've ever been on concerning whether it's a radio broadcast or a podcast. So this is part one. Excellent point by one of your listeners. Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project, and I just wanted to lay that foundation. Remember about his book, Epoca, capital EPOCA. Now, if you type in that term Epoca, it is connected to occultism all throughout the internet. Kobe was not stupid. He was involved in this, okay? Heath
Yeah.
Ledger, these men are involved in the dark arts, okay? And this is a side note, and we're done here. Well, this is so powerful here today. The term boule, capital BOULE, comes from an acronym word, another a deeper Greek Hellenistic word, capital BOLU, Bolu, capital BOLU, which means Friday or Black Friday. Now, somebody said, what does this have to do with Kobe Bryant? Do you realize, Jason, that Black Friday is connected to the slave trade? It goes
What
back
do
to
you
the
mean, like
1600s.
selling TVs at Thanksgiving?
No. The day after Thanksgiving, the slaves were sold at a discounted price.
Whoa, I can't believe that name has held over to Christmas shopping.
Yes. Black Friday is rooted going back to the 1600s, connected again to the same slave owner who created
Wow.
breaking, Willie Lynch. Okay.
Wow.
So then he creates a sense called Black Friday. Black, that's the color of the indigenous Africans. Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, going back to the 1600s up into this day. And that's not just African Americans, people going crazy, stomping over each other for what? A toy. That psyop is from Willie Lynch,
Hmm.
where the slave was sold at a discounted price every year, the day after Thanksgiving. That's Black Friday. Why did the government choose for us Black History Month for February?
I
Now,
don't know.
in the term February means Februs, capital Februs, right? In Roman mythology, Februs is a homosexual. Now, I'm not castigating anyone. So that month, which is the shortest month of the year, was instituted through an African American boule, Dr. Carter C. Woodson, or C. Carter Woodson, who was a boule. Okay, so this is part one of this Kobe Bryant Luciferian project completed. Lucifer. Lucy is the female equivalent of Lucifer. Lucifer is the male equivalent of Lucy. Okay, that's the dichotomy of who Lucifer is. Lucifer, Luciferian, to decipher. Now remember, Kobe dies at the age of 41. Okay, his last game, he comes out at 4.1 second. In the commercial with Kanye West, he throws the basketball. He looks up at 4.1 second. Now, somebody is going to say, well, Bishop, that's coincidence. No. When you're dealing with the dark arts of the global Luciferian society, though Kobe retired, but the principality that he was connected with did not want to leave him. And I'm going to leave it at Jason, this is probably one of the most powerful insights that I have ever taught. This is probably one of the most powerful teachings that I have ever taught. Remember, we talked about this in my conclusion. Sigma pi phi, right? Sigma represents summation, to conjure up like a spirit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Pi, Pi, means hypnotic solution or osmotic pressure, probably in the helicopter, which brings us to phi, Phi, which means a plane. Summoning an osmotic hypnotic spirit on a plane. And I will leave it at that today. This is powerful, Jason.
It is, Bishop. I think you've raised a lot of incredible points today. I don't understand. There's some people, very few people, who are in there just hurling nonsensical comments like this is BS. That doesn't help us at all. Certainly, if there's something that the bishop says or that I say that people disagree with, they're welcome to challenge it. But I think they need to use facts, not just random annoying terms or hurling out nonsense. One other thing I wanted to point out about this book, Epocha, it says underneath there, the tree of Ekrof, which, like, obviously that means nothing. It seems like some sort of Harry Potter-esque sort of magical term that perhaps somebody buying this book for a child might think is something interesting. But it's quite clearly the word force backwards, Force. And certainly spelling things backwards is a very Luciferian, like having things encoded on Led Zeppelin albums when you play it backwards and stuff like that. Backwards speaking is kind of like one of their things, isn't it?
That's it. It's called inversion, inverted. What the occultists do, they invert their entire life, every word, every phrase, every number. So people say, oh, that's regardless. Listen, the reason why people are thinking, and this is no disrespect to your listeners, they're not on this level. And so this is the masses of people who are in the crab barrel. The system wants everyone to think that this is BS. They want to distract you so that you can watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians and all of this nonsense. So it's time for the people to think on the level that God wants us to think. And again, so this Sigma Pi Phi, it is occultic, it is luciferic, and you talk about Lucifer here, right? Luciferian. It's all a part of the dark arts. And you may mention of Ekrof, force, okay? Now, in the book of Epic or Force or the tree of life, that's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The top part is good, the bottom is evil. But in some of those chapters, Jason, he constantly uses the word muse in cage. Even on a lot of his commercials on YouTube, muse, notice, is connected to witches and warlocks.
Yeah.
Okay. So what Kobe is teaching, he's teaching as if he is a witch. I'm sorry. I know people love Kobe and they almost worship him, but you have to understand as to why he died. Nothing is by accident, okay? So this Luciferian, and I love the picture of the logo for the broadcast today, the flyer. That coded word of LVCIFERO, that's an acronym for Luciferic. Now, the question is to your listeners, who created Lucifer, who created Satan, and who created the devil? God created Lucifer, but guess what? God did not create Satan, and God did not create the devil. So after Lucifer's fall in Genesis, okay, between verses 1 and 2 in Genesis, and darkness, okay, we're talking about the Luciferian project of Kobe Bryant, came upon the face of the earth. So Lucifer, because of his fall, Jason, created two alter ego personalities, just like Kobe.
Bishop?
Lucifer created Satan or Satan, which means Saturn, a deceiver, one who deviates from the true light. And then Satan created another alter ego called the devil, one that accused
Bishop, we lost you there. Can you hear me?
Satan, the deceiver or deception. And he's also the devil, one that accuses. Oh, that's BS. And I'm not calling your listeners devils, but I'm telling you, every person who's involved in the dark arts, they are assigned a demon. I know this has blown people's mind. They are assigned a demon. So that way, that demon begins to overtake their personality. Okay. And so Kobe became something of what he was not post July 2003. Okay. And the same forces that got him out of that mess, Jason, in Eagle, Colorado, or Edwards, Colorado, is the same forces that took him down. So people, it's time for the people to wake up. You know, Jason, this man was involved in what we call parapsychology and phrenology. He went to Germany for multiple knee surgeries. We'll get into that next week, where Kobe believed in what we call psychic surgery. Okay, this rich plasmatic surgery on his knee that he got in Germany. That's a part of what we call psychic surgery.
Hmm.
Okay, heavy. And so people say, oh, I don't believe that. I do not care, because the truth stands for itself. That's Kobe Bryant, right? A Luciferian project created. He got into clairvoyance. He was a big proponent of both psychokinesis and telekinesis. Psychokinesis and telekinesis is what we call light muse cage and dark muse cage. Kobe tapped into the inner darkness
Hmm.
that ate into him, that happened from that hotel room to now. I don't care if people believe it or not. That's what took him out. Okay. And
Yeah.
so he gets involved in this telekinesis, and he incorporates these psychokinesis and telekinesis in these books for children, so that they too can conjure through hypnotic solution on a plane.
See, it's
Sigma
interesting
Pi
that
Phi. And
it's geared towards children, because in preparation for our show, I was just Googling around and I actually saw this video that you've included in the, that this Threadripper or whatever it is has included in the list here, where it's Kobe Bryant and a Muppet. And the thing is, this
yes,
Muppet is a snake. And
yes,
throughout this video, he's talking about dark muse and all kinds of weird stuff that I guess, like, I mean, with kids, you could put anything on the television. It doesn't necessarily need to make sense. It's the colors, the sound of the voice or whatever. But he's
exactly.
talking all about this in this video in his own voice.
And it's right there. And again,
Yeah.
Jason, I love your show, because see, it's taking me to the next level. Me, myself, as a researcher, right? As a researcher and a historian, I provide facts, links, and it's up for the people to come with the proper conclusion, right? So then
Right.
Kobe, he was involved in this. He talks about light muse cage, okay, or dark muse
I mean,
cage.
Bishop, I don't know how anyone can come into these comments and say that anything that you're saying is BS. Here
Yes,
is Kobe Bryant right here with the puppet snake talking about dark muses. So who the hell told him to do that?
that's what I'm saying. Jason, brother, I love you so much. And that's why you're a great host. He's
Thank you.
involved in this Aleister Crowley craft, the
Yeah.
theosophical and the Theleman, and he talks to a toy, mamba that you
Right.
can invoke the light muse and the dark muse. That's Lucifer. That's what we call illumination, illuminato, NATO summit, Illuminati.
Hmm.
That's Lucifer. That's Baphomet. And I'm so glad that you brought up. And can I just say this? And I'm going to go here, Jason, because I got to go. I have a dentist appointment, but I got to say this. Getting back to the Boulets quickly, Dr. James E. Bowman, just as a side note, we talked about him some weeks ago, right? He was the director of pathology and medicine at the University of Chicago School of Medicine. He was also the director of the genetics and African American studies at the University of Chicago, the Prisco School of Medicine. His daughter is Valerie Jarrett.
Wait, whose daughter is Valerie Jarrett?
Dr. James E. Bowman. Everyone looked at Dr. James E. Bowman, who died in 2011. His daughter is Valerie Jarrett. And the former father-in-law of Valerie Jarrett is Vernon Jarrett, who was a newspaper writer, who was heavily connected to Barack Obama.
Hmm.
Again, all of these people are in these dark arts. Okay, why can't we never see the baby pictures of the Obamas? Those children don't belong to them. It's all a part of the dark arts. Okay, so Valerie Jarrett is the daughter of Dr. James E. Bowman, a eugenicist, okay, the director of genetics and African American studies at the University of Chicago, who died in 2011. His daughter is Valerie Jarrett, a
Hmm.
Boulay.
Hmm.
So, like you said, Jason, a minute ago, again, brother, I love how you host. It is impossible for people who are saying BS. The information is right there. And again, Kobe is connected to Lucifer, Lucifer, Cipher, Sifer, Lou Saber, Lou Saber, Saber, Lou Saber, or the one who creates paramind or paradigms, hexagram and hexagon. So Kobe died because of a satanic ritualistic sacrifice. He had no, listen, he had to die. So it's either you or Vanessa or one of your children, someone has to go. You wanted this money, you wanted power, you wanted fame. And now he had to be sacrificed. And they
You know,
had to
Bishop,
do it. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead. Oh man, this is
sorry, just real quick back
that's
on Valerie Jarrett. People might recall that Roseanne Barr had put out a tweet, which some might say is comedy. I mean, I certainly remember a time when, whether it was Roseanne Barr or George Carlin or Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy, comedy got pretty super offensive, using all kinds of racial epithets and making fun of people's sexual preferences and stuff, and that was just sort of fair game. But Roseanne Barr put out this tweet about Valerie Jarrett. That was it. End of her show, basically end
wow.
of her career. So that was something.
And one more thing, Jason, again, you're hitting nerves with me. And for those of you who know the word of God, the Bible, remember in Ezekiel 28:13, this is tied to Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian project created. Okay, and I'm going to expose to you the character of who Lucifer is, his character, his DNA. In Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 13, it reveals the king called Tyrus. Okay, capital Tyrus. Okay, now Tyrus is a Persian term meaning tied to Lenol, capital Lenol. Lenol was a high ranking principality in Persian mythology. That's another topic for another day, from whence we get the term Tylenol. Now, in Ezekiel 28:13, out of the 9 stones that's on the breastplate of Tyrus, who is actually Lucifer himself. Why 9 stones? Normally, a high priest has 12. God purposely limits Tyrus or Lucifer to 9. In other words, Tyrus has 9 stones. The first 3 stones, Jason, is sardis, topaz, and diamond. And to your listeners, as we end this Kobe Bryant Luciferian project teaching today, what is the first word or the first letter of sardis? S. What is the first letter of topaz? T. What is the first letter of diamond? D. STD. So when I ask you guys STD, what comes to your mind?
Well,
Sexually transmitted diseases. Now, people say, oh, that's BS. Listen, people have to have the mind of God to decipher darkness. My assignment, Jason, I'm a contract killer, like I told you back in June. My job is to expose darkness in a great detail so that even a child could understand. So LSD, Lucifer, Satan, devil, STD, sexually transmitted diseases, July 2003. Okay, that hotel room, Kobe, STD. So something entered, not just into that woman, something that woman had entered into Kobe Bryant, from the next 17 years up to his death, he was never the same. And if people don't have the mind of God, they won't have a clue of what I'm talking about, okay? And this is a reason why, and remember, I don't know if you remember one of his teammates named Steve Nash, who
I don't
played
really
with
know
the,
basketball that well.
yeah, March 20th, 2013, according to BleacherReport.com, okay, there was an article by Dan Carson. It says Steve Nash attends rich kid's bar mitzvah in Los Angeles. There was a billionaire by the name of Jeffrey Feinberg, who was a protege of George Soros at the Soros hedge fund incorporated here in New York City. So Jeffrey Feinberg and Kobe Bryant were friends. Jeffrey Feinberg asked Kobe to come. Kobe said no, he was busy. Why? So his son, the son of Jeffrey Feinberg, Michael Feinberg, was 13 at his bar mitzvah.
Well, everybody is 13 at the bar mitzvah.
Exactly. But when I'm trying to connect all of these numbers, 13 keeps coming up. Even the daughter of Kobe Bryant, 13. Now, people said that's coincidence. No, nothing is by accident. So in my conclusion, Steve Nash went in his place. And by all accounts, Jeffrey Feinberg was not happy about that. So then Kobe got himself into the dark arts. You showed the links for it, Jason, as well as I. And he got into legal battles against big pharma, pharmaceutical. And I'm going to end it there today. Oh, I'm telling you, my friend, this is powerful. This is prolific. And always remember, to your listeners, always remember, okay, that knowing enough about a subject to think you're right, but not enough about the subject to know you're wrong. Do your research, people. Because after a crisis is over, the only thing that you will have to look back on is how you handled the crisis. How did Kobe handle the crisis? And it doesn't matter how much money these men have. Because at the end of the day, when the chess game is over, Jason, both the king and the pawn go back in the same box. Right. And I'm looking forward to next. Kobe Bryant, the Luciferian Project, completed.
Amazing show, Bishop. I want to remind everybody that they can listen to your radio show in a lot of different ways. They can go to liferadionj.com/Gaiters. They can also listen on 92.9 FM. People can support the Bishop's global spiritual revolution by going to paypal.me/GSRR Media Group. And you can support this show on patreon.com/crowdsource the truth or subscribestar.com youtube.com/crowdsource the truth. You know, Bishop, a lot of people, not a lot of people, a small group of people who I think are mostly trying to socially engineer a lot of people, they like to
Yeah.
make comments like, why would you put this information behind a paywall? This should be free. And, you know, I agree, information should be free, but gathering the information and producing a show that allows people to watch it on their computer or listen to it on the radio, it requires a lot of work, a lot of equipment, a lot of time, and each of those things distract us or anyone who would engage in this activity. It distracts us from any other job. So I hope people who are watching and who watch us each week appreciate the hard work and research that you put in to each of these reports and all the effort that both of us go to and all the co-hosts on Crowdsource the Truth go to. And even if people are only watching the free shows on YouTube and Periscope and Facebook and DLive and all of those other channels that we put it out on, I hope that they will sponsor both of our efforts so that this type of material can keep coming.
Yes, and that is so important. And I want to leave this quickly because I know you have to go to another show. Awesome show today, Jason. And again, you always take me to the next level, and I thank God for you.
Well,
I
thank you,
want
Bishop.
your listeners to look. Absolutely. If you guys get an opportunity, look up what Colonel Edward Mandell House said to President Woodrow Wilson, okay, about when he talks about a plan that was put in place during the Wilson administration between 1913 and 1921, how to manipulate the American people. Colonel Edward Mandell House and his plan to totally manipulate through what he calls national and international manipulation. It's a global plan of manipulation. Where he talks about very soon every American would be required to register the biological property. That's not just your birth certificate, and your birth certificate number is traded on the stock exchange. That's another topic for another day, okay? So your birth certificate, which means when mom and dad signs that, you are no longer the property of your parents. You become the property of the state. You are a bill of lading and an invoice. This started in 1302 through Pope Boniface VIII through the term unum sanctum. That's another topic for another day. So God bless you, Jason. This was probably one of the heaviest impartations or teachings I've ever done concerning Kobe Bryant and Luciferian project completed.
Very well done, Bishop. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to next week as well. I want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget, tonight on Patreon and Subscribestar, we've got another episode of More Pain, sponsor-exclusive show with Mike Moore of True Pundit. Don't miss that, and we'll see the Bishop next week. Thanks, everybody, for watching.